Hey guys, Nick G here with Taco Jeep Adventures, bringing you a shorter install today of a pretty neat product that I thought, well, at first I wasn't even going to record this, but then I was like, you know what, maybe this will benefit some of you. If you don't know by now, Desert Does It makes some pretty cool products for these trucks and potentially other vehicles. I'll have to look into that, but I will show you guys some of the products I have, as well as what we're going to be installing today, which is laid out here on the table. It is a fire extinguisher mount. Something I probably should have got a long time ago, to be honest, because I've kind of had this, my fire extinguisher just sitting on the floorboard or something, and it just hasn't been convenient. I've put it off, I've focused efforts in a lot of other areas, but it's time, so we got the mount. I'm going to go over all of that with you guys. Obviously install. I'll quickly go through the directions so you understand what you need to do, right? If you've got a fire extinguisher, you're looking into getting one prior to ordering this product. So let's jump right in. So here's everything laid out on the table. It came nicely packaged. Everything was individually, they all were allocated in their individual sections, right? So here's everything laid out. You can see how this works. They're basically these clamps that are going to go around the fire extinguisher. I have to prep the inside of the surface, and then it tells you, depending on size, which size foam piece that you need to adhere to this to utilize. This pin is what's going to hold these two together, and this bracket is going to mount these two to the molly panel in the interior, which I'm going to show you here in just a moment. But to orient you, this is how this is going to go. You've got this smaller hardware, which utilizes a 2.5 millimeter Allen, and that's going to go in these two holes right here, right? So those are going to go in here and here on either side. I'm going to mount this right so that the opening is facing upward towards the headliner of the vehicle, so that if I were to have to use this, reach down, pull the pin, those open up, and I can just pull the fire extinguisher out and go, right? This is going to come through the back of the molly panel. These little Allen styles, which are a 4 millimeter, those are going to come through the back of the molly panel and screw into this, right? So we're going to orient that in the truck, and I'm going to show you what that looks like here in a moment. I have the 3-inch, so when you order, you'll need to measure your fire extinguisher, right? So I basically took my tape, let's see if I can do this here, and measured the outside diameter to get the 3-inch that I need, right? So depending on the size you get, 2.9, 3-inch, 3.1, 3.2, they've got different steps here that you'll need to follow. I'll try and hold this here so you can pause your frame. I'm not going to go through this, like I said, top to bottom. But in my case, it looks like I need to use, because I've got the 3-inch, that's what I ordered, and that's what I have, the 1/8 inch thick black foam, right? Whereas some of these other require the 1/4 inch, which clearly that is that. There's the 1/8 inch, and it comes with the alcohol swab so that you can prep the inside of these rings before adhering that to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we're going to show you the inside of the truck where this is going to be installed, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed to do so. All right, guys, don't judge me too harshly. I know it is very dirty in here, and I am due. I take this truck out literally every single weekend, and it needs its, I'll call it, quarterly thorough detail. But nonetheless, I want to show you real quick before we mount this. This is a seat jacker product that they make, which is awesome. If you guys, no matter your height really, have taken any lengthy trip in these trucks whatsoever, the seating position is incredibly uncomfortable. It's actually one of the most uncomfortable of this type of vehicle I've been in. So these seat jackers elevate the seat so that essentially you get more leg support. And I've noticed a big difference in the longer rides, especially with my back being much happier with me. So they've also got spacers in the rear here, which you probably can't see at the moment. But seat jackers, look them up, highly recommend it. And then as an offering, right, they've got this molly panel that mounts to the face of the seat jacker on either side. Right, so and then they sell different magnets and different mounts, like the fire extinguisher mount we're going to be doing installed today. So look up those products, see if they've got something that might suit some of your mounting needs. I really like this product. It's solid, and they include everything you need to do it. So yeah, just wanted to show you guys that. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the table so we can proceed with next steps of prepping for install. All right, we've got this mounted. You can see the hardware there. I did put a little dab of blue thread locker on either side. And then you would just want to consider, I mean, not that, I mean, it's going to be covered, but their image, Desert Does It. Got that faced out and upward, right? Oriented correctly, but nonetheless, I put the foam 1/8 pads on here. I did have to trim a little, and you'll note that I went to the very edge before it interfered with how this is going to clasp together, right? So I went to the very edge there. I mean, you could probably go a little past that, but it just wouldn't have any surface area to stick to. So I started there and worked my way back, and then pretty much just trimmed off the excess where these two were getting, you can see the little trimmings there, where it was getting a little bunched up, so that it doesn't start to pull that pad off, right? And then I went in the cab, put this on the molly panel to kind of get a feel, and I had this around this, right, to orient, to kind of get an idea. I'm going to go pretty much in the middle, which you're going to see here in a moment. But man, it's holding that thing super snug, and it grips it very, very well. Pretty impressed with that. So we're going to take this hardware, we're going to put little dabs of blue thread locker, and then we're going to come through the back here, and I'm going to show you that in the cab. All right, here we can see it's mounted, guys. You can see the 4 Allen head style bolts that have run through the back. One thing to note is the coating that they use on that plate that connects these two clamps was kind of inside the first thread or so on the back. So when it was kind of fighting me here, so I held it in hand, and then I threaded it outside of this prior to kind of get those threads started, to get that little coating off of that initial thread. So FYI, if you see that coating around the edge of the threads where it starts on the back of that bracket, you may want to proactively do that prior to trying to install it. But nonetheless, it went smooth. It's on there, it's tight. Put a little blue thread locker on all 4 of these as well, and we're going to go ahead and test fit. So this is, if I can do this with one hand, I'm going to essentially go in here. These clamps are going to come up, and then that pin with the optional flag there is going to go through that. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. All right, we are locked in. I went ahead and closed this, put the pin through, which locks on the other side, so you would have to really pull this to get it out. I mean, it's solid. That's not rotating. It's not going anywhere. And the reason why, I should have probably stated, I went a little higher. I went with these 2 brackets instead of the very bottom. It's just hard to feed, a little harder to feed the hardware in there. I mean, overall, I don't think it would change as far as how stable it is in place, but yeah, that is solid. I hopped in here to check feet clearance getting in and out. I moved it over that way as close to the radio as possible, so that getting in and out, my heels wouldn't be hitting this. And yeah, there's plenty of clearance, believe it or not. I wanted it on this side too, you know, in consideration of passengers. So yeah, that's it, guys. Hopefully that was helpful. Figured I'd throw that up real quick, show another pretty cool product. And yeah, now I don't have a fire extinguisher flopping around. So if you liked the video, share some love. Got some affiliate links in the description on some partners. If you're interested in cases, ILR gear makes some pretty awesome cases. And then if you're interested in off-road recovery products, Moose Knuckle Off-Road also makes some pretty outstanding products, which I've got on the truck here. So be sure to check out those links and codes in the description. And yeah, until next time, guys, time to film another one. Got a really cool one coming up here, so stay tuned. Take care.